It's Unstable Topic with Sarah and Maggie.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
and Maggie.
And we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious, or just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Okay, so I've been really excited to bring this up during Hey Bestie segment. I was on set as a first AD last week for our good friend Andrew Plock, a project he was directing, and a crew member, Ricky, came up to me and handed me this book. It is The Mystery of the Silent Nightingale. And he said, I saw this and I thought it would make good fodder for your podcast. And I'm like, Ricky, that's so thoughtful that you saw.
He ever listened?
Yeah.
Or he was just
listened.
like, I heard you have a podcast and I've always wanted a podcast about this book.
No, Ricky is fantastic. You better not. Ricky has nothing but great intentions. But to be honest, I have not read this book. It's really thin, though. You see how thin it is?
Oh, yeah, we could probably read that.
We could probably read it right now, but I'm not going to. I appreciate the gesture of it being like something I can talk about because it did inspire me. It got me thinking about, in my youth, my favorite books of Goosebumps. Did you read the Goosebumps series?
No, I was too scared. My brother
Really?
and my cousin, I distinctly remember being at my cousin's house and her having the goosebumps and my brother being like, I'm going to read the Goosebumps, and me being like, know thyself, I will not be reading that.
That's bold. I love the Goosebumps series, even though Sarah, now won't watch horror films for the most part. I loved it, and they terrified me, and I did get scared, but I kept going back. Like even now,
you would go back.
I would go back and read them, and they would still
also
terrify
like Twilight Zone.
I do, and they're very adjacent.
Yeah,
because they're worlds, but like weird.
Yeah, Goosebumps is like the gateway book to watching Twilight Zone, I feel like. And you like Black Mirror too, right?
I do like Black Mirror.
So you like that creepy stuff.
I do like creepy and weird, but not horror.
Yeah.
I walked out of the last big horror thing I saw was the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I saw that in theater. I thought it was a good idea to do. I don't know. And I walked out because it was too much. It terrified me.
I was thinking about this the other day, like, because I was watching the Traitors, like the reality show where they have to do challenges. And I was like, I don't think I could do any of these challenges because in my head, I go like 10 steps ahead to a really unrealistic place. But then I'm like, I don't know. This is a really weird situation. So anything's possible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could do any of those things. I don't like to watch it. I don't like the scary. I read Nancy Drew books, and then I would have to run upstairs because it was so suspenseful in Nancy Drew.
I didn't read Nancy Drew. But to go back to this show, The Traitors, I've never watched it. What is The Traitors?
Okay, you need to watch it. I'm watching it because Kyle came home and said, I found a reality show that I like to watch. And
Bold
I said,
statement.
Whatever it is, I am in. Because I cannot get this man to watch any of my trashy reality shows. And the fact that he was like, I like it, I want to watch it. And he had already watched like the first 3 episodes. So he sat with me, I watched, got caught up. It was such a role reversal. And we're invested. We haven't actually watched. I know how it ends because I listened to a podcast to know how it ends. And he knows I know how it ends. And now that we're on the last episode, which we're going to watch tonight, I'm like, you are going to flip out when you know how this ends. You're going to flip out.
You still haven't told me what the show is about. You've told me simply you're watching it and why you're watching it.
I just wanted to sell it first with my why. Always start with why. The
Sure.
how and the what. It's a show. They take half of the people in this big house in Scotland are reality show villains, like people that are bad guys in a reality show. The other half are normies, like you and me. Like we could get on this show,
Oh
except
my
for I could not do
gosh.
any of the challenges.
Okay.
They compete to like get money into the pot, and at the end, so then they separate. The guy goes around, he taps 3 people to be villain or to be traitors, and they
Either
every night murder a faithful. And the faithfuls are everyone else, and the faithfuls have to try and figure out who the traitors are, and they vote someone out every night. So they vote someone out. If it's a faithful, they lose another faithful. At the end, if it's all faithfuls, they get to split the money. If there's traitors, the traitors get the money. So like if there's even one traitor amongst them, the traitor gets all the money. But if there's all faithfuls, they all get to split the money.
So does the trader change nightly?
No.
Or the traders are the ones preset at the beginning of the show? We played this game at elementary school.
You did, and I was joking when they went around who is it? It's the guy Alan, he's this Scottish actor,
Oh, I
skinny.
know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Yes.
I forget
Yes.
his last
Yes.
name. But so I was like, it'll be so funny if he goes around and just, like, heads up 7 Up, taps the traders, and that's exactly what he does.
Oh my
He
gosh.
puts blindfolds on everyone and then walks around a circle and just taps them on the shoulder to make them traders. And I
Uh,
was like, I love this. This is the best television.
in elementary school, when we would play Heads Up, 7 Up, I would always peek. I would like, because you put your head down on your desk with your eyes and your arms. I would always be like looking out in the bottom so I could see someone's shoes or like what their pants were. I'm like, I know what's going on. It's probably because I
You
read
and
so
every
many.
other child in the classroom were doing the
No,
exact same thing. Everyone's a
this is
cheater.
unique. This was unique, and it's because I read Goosebumps books and I knew what to do. Maggie, are you ready for your fact?
I am.
Are you though, or is just like everyone's gonna do it? Everyone's doing a fact.
I'm ready. Your fact is gonna be a fact that no one else has ever heard.
Jeez. I'm gonna pick you. Okay, fine. All right, Maggie, are you ready for your fact?
I am.
According to a legend in Iceland, if you didn't get new clothes on Christmas, you would be eaten by a giant cat.
A giant cat?
Giant cat.
Like a tiger?
Well, I thought the same thing, but it's in Iceland. So there's no tigers or lions in Iceland that we know of.
So
So
just
I
like a
it's
house cat, but
I would
huge.
assume like a giant house cat. Yes.
I have a theory on where this legend came from.
Oh, okay.
Here's my theory. A mom got her kids like new clothes and they were ungrateful. They were like, I don't want this. I wanted a race car or I wanted a sled. And she said she had it. You know, here she is making Christmas magical. She's been making cinnamon rolls from scratch. She's decorated. She thought about what they needed and got it for them. And they were just so ungrateful. And she said, well, do you know why I got you clothes? Because I don't want you to get eaten. And they're like, by what? And then she glanced out the window and there's like a cat walking by and she said, by a giant cat that eats kids who don't get clothes for Christmas. So you're welcome. You're welcome from saving your life from a giant cat.
100%. 100% that's the origin story. 100%.
I
And
cannot
again,
think
like
of another way that story would come to life.
no. And this is so it to be a legend. I would assume a legend comes about like after 50 years. Maybe 100 years, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it takes time. A legend has to
Take
marinate.
marinate. So again, this is like back in the day where even getting clothes, the mother had to make. So the mother made clothes that the children were then ungrateful for. And I applaud this mother. I applaud her and I respect her and I tip my hat to her because what a
Yeah.
genius idea.
Genius idea, and I would have done the same thing. In fact, I might do the same thing. Whatever my
What would it
children
be?
aren't happy that I get them, I might start saying, "Well, do you know why? Because I just don't want you to get eaten by a giant cat." Because they're already afraid of cats because we don't have cats. So when they see them and Kyle, husband, is allergic to cats, and so when he
Oh,
sees cats, he's like, "Don't touch it." And so now they think that, like, this little alley cat that walks behind our house, they're like, "Ah, go inside! There's a cat!" I'm like, "It's okay, guys." So then this is an
I
easy honestly, easy transition for me.
easy transition. Yeah, cats don't freak me out. But and again, this is alleged. Don't DM us if you know the actual origin story. So don't DM. I can't say what I want to say because I'm so flustered. Cat's got my tongue.
That was good.
And I bow. No, look, we don't know the original origin story for this. So if you know it, fantastic. Don't ruin this bubble for us, you know.
I
But
don't think there
I
is
think
a different story than what we've already said. I don't think
yeah.
that we would get any DMs about it because I think that this is the story.
Are you ready to react?
I am.
So we just talked about how in Iceland there's this legend, like a superstition, if you will, that if you don't get new clothes, you're going to be eaten by a giant cat. Is there a superstition that you have that you do in order to prevent something from happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I have a lot of things that I don't know. I don't know if I do anything to prevent anything from happening. I do things that I think are going to like make good things happen and they haven't necessarily worked, but I do them, you know?
Like what?
Like like um if I buy a lottery ticket or something, I tell myself, don't look at it. Don't look at it. You can't look at it. I say, "Don't look at
Like,
it at all. Just put it away. Don't look at it." And
like
so
don't
far,
look
that
at it and
hasn't won me billions of dollars or millions, but it's something that maybe I'll start looking at it. This is
so
interesting.
so you don't look at it until the numbers come up, like until you buy the ticket, you put it away, and then the lottery happens, and then you can look at the ticket.
Right? Because 'Cause I'm like, if I look at it, then I'll be thinking about that, you know?
Maybe
But
that's what
so
you need to do. You do need to look at it so you can think about
yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah. I'm glad we talked about this big cat eating children because otherwise I never would have thought about this incredible superstition that I have. I
That's
don't think I have
interesting.
others, though. I know, like, some people are like, "Oh, I have to, kiss my
I'm
family
j
goodbye," or, I don't know.
But yours is just the lottery ticket. I'm trying to think. I think when I get something in my head, it becomes a thing, but I do touch the outside of an airplane. Like, when you're boarding an airplane,
Oh.
I touch the outside, like, before you go in, like, where the door is, I touch the outside of the airplane.
To, like, give it good energy or just to
Yeah.
say, like, "I'm
Yeah, like, it's
here."
gonna it's gonna be okay. I touch the
Oh,
outside of
that's
the airplane.
nice.
Yeah. What else do I do? I do a lot of kooky things. My mother told me when I was a little girl, and something I just remembered, that if you see a rocking chair and it's not occupied, you are not supposed to rock it. It's supposed to be bad luck if you rock a rocking chair and there's no one in it, like it stirs a spirit or something. But to this
Ugh.
day, I will not rock a rocking chair if there's no one in it.
Oh my gosh, I have stirred so many spirits in my life.
But your house is haunted.
I know. I That made me think of something else that I heard, someone I used to work with said, "You never put your purse on the ground
Yes,
because
I've heard that
then
too.
money flies out of it," or, so I that's something I started doing, and then splitting poles, like, if you're
Mm-mm.
walking and there's, like, a pole or, like, in a door frame, you never split it. So if you're walking with someone, you have to go through the same side.
Oh, I am now going to start doing that. That is going to be buried in my mind for the rest of time, and I will forever walk through the same door as somebody else. I will never split a pole.
You can't split it. This is actually, probably going to really cause me to start doing a lot of things that I don't need to do. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack be a celebrity the gals can think of quick. It's time for You Don't Know Jack, where Sarah and Maggie share some facts about a celebrity named Jack and try to guess who it is. I'm very excited about this one, Sarah. Are you ready?
I am ready.
This Jack is known for being the CEO and spokesman for a well known restaurant chain. He took over as the savvy, no-nonsense face of the company in 1994 after a food contamination outbreak linked to the restaurant almost bankrupted the business. In his first commercial appearance, this Jack blew up the board of directors and promised the company was in better hands. And it worked. This Jack and his restaurant chain are still around and a favorite stop for late night tacos and burgers. Sarah, who is this Jack?
This Jack is someone my husband has been trying to get me to do ever since we started doing Jack games, and that is Jack in the Box.
Correct. Legal name Jack Box, but he is
Jack
the
Box.
CEO of Jack in the Box, the restaurant food chain.
Yes. When I was writing my Jack off last night, my husband again begged me to do Jack in the Box as one of the Jacks, and I did not, and I'm glad. At the beginning of this, do you know Jack? I'm like, I don't. This is a real person. I don't know restaurants. I don't know restaurants. And then I'm like, oh no, I do. I do know restaurants.
I do know. You can't tell
Did you know
Jamie that we recorded this because he has to hear it and play along. Because I
He'll
imagine
never
him
listen.
listening to this in his car and being like, wait a second. It's Jackbox.
So fun fact about Jack in the Box, my aunt Mary Beth worked for Jack in the Box and still works for like a subsidiary like Qdoba but she worked for Jack in the Box for decades. And there's a picture of me when I traveled. My family took a vacation to Texas and I was like 6th grade, 7th grade. And I'm standing in the front yard of my grandmother's house, of Nana's house, and she is in a big Jack in the Box French fry costume. And my hand is like up next to it, so proud. And there's this picture of me standing there smiling. And I think it just rained. And it's fantastic. For years, she would give us Jack in the Box. You remember when the antenna ornaments were
Yep.
really big? So she would give us those, and she would also give us Jack head ornaments that you would hang on your tree, and we still have them.
You have
It's
to find that
fantastic.
picture. I love it.
Oh,
I
hands down.
It was
I'll give you that
funny when
picture.
I had known about him like coming to the stage because of this bad time for the business, right? Like the food contamination and how he really restored faith in Jack in the Box as this character. But I thought it was interesting. There's so much lore around him too. Like one of the fun things I found out is that he went to Ball State. Like
That's funny because of his head.
And in 1996, they ran a virtual campaign, like he ran for president against Bill Clinton, Bob Dole, and Dogbert, and he won by a landslide. Like he was the most
I would
popular.
vote
He's
for
an
Jack in the Box.
icon, truly.
He is an icon. He is legitimately an icon, and I love him, Jack Box. He's great. There was a series of commercials a few years back that were hysterical with Jack in the Box. I feel like they were very in tune with like, the progressive commercials where like the adulting ones,
Yeah.
you try not to be an adult. They're like that type of humor. My husband, whenever the team wins, he works for North Texas or whatever, and whenever they win a game, he always like, hey, you want to go get victory tacos? And victory tacos are always Jack in the Box tacos because the games are usually over late at night. Jack in the Box is one of the few restaurants that's open late. So victory tacos. Man.
My sister-in-law always says like $100. That's 200 Jack in the Box tacos.
Yeah, I love that.
She counts things in Jack in the Box tacos. I personally have never even had a Jack in the Box tacos. I'm very weirded out by Jack in the Box.
What? They're just deep fried tacos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who eats
so
a
I hear.
garbage plate. You eat a garbage plate.
I mean, I will eat anything. It tells me what it is. It's like, this is garbage, and I will consume it. But this is a taco? Is it?
Yeah, it's a deep fried taco. It has a shell. There's meat inside. There's lettuce and cheese. That's a taco. Those are the makings of a taco. You know what, Maggie? We are going to go to a Jack in the Box, and we're going to film it, and we're going to order you a taco, and you're going to eat it, and you're like, oh, I get it.
This is fair because about 5 years ago, I took you to Whataburger to have a honey butter chicken biscuit. So I will do this. I accept the challenge, and I will just clear my schedule for the rest of the day. Thanks for playing You Don't Know Jack, brought to you by the most popular boy name in Hollywood.
Maggie, are you ready for your fact?
I am.
Up until the 17th century, men did not wear underwear at all.
Interesting.
Can you vocalize the face? Can you put sound to the face that you're making right now?
Like that? Would you
Yep.
say that's the face?
That's it.
I'm
Yep,
just trying
that's-
to. I mean, I guess they just wore pants then, right? Just free balling all over.
I guess.
Why? This is a question, actually. I'm curious your answer because the other day, my daughter said, "Mom, why do we wear underwear?" What would you say to that as a parent?
Why do we wear underwear? To protect your body, to protect your body parts.
But it's not like armor. It's just
No.
like
I guess it's a
like
privacy thing. Like if you're wearing a dress.
I was like, yeah. Well, I was like, I think it keeps because like I was like sometimes you get a little sweaty down there and it kind of keeps everything keeps it from getting on your pants, then you can like wear your pants again. I genuinely was like, why do we wear underpants? Like why do we wear underwear? I mean, for like
Okay.
if you're wearing a dress that makes sense, but like
I wouldn't
oh,
want to wear jeans without
no.
underwear.
No, nothing with a zipper.
I don't think I would want to wear anything without undergarments.
But why? Why do we wear underwear? Under
I
why?
Maggie, I don't think I have like an actual answer as to why. We know in the 17th century men started wearing it. So it makes me
Right.
wonder, were women not wearing it too? And so men started wearing it and then women started wearing it? Cuz
I don't
women
know.
also though had corsets.
Yeah. Women, I feel like, always had to have many undergarments,
Mm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
But
It
what
makes me think,
happened in the 17th century that they were
yeah,
like, you know what we got to start doing?
wearing
Covering
something.
ourselves underneath our covers of ourselves.
I bet it was because men's pants changed. If I had to put
Mm,
money on it, I bet it's because there was, like, buttons, right? It was always buttons, and I feel like they're a button on the sides, they weren't up the middle. I bet pants changed in the
yeah.
17th century, and men were like, we need to wear something underneath this."
Ugh. Well, it's
Ugh.
funny though because when you said it, I had this like visceral reaction of that's disgusting. And then I was like, why is it disgusting? Like we've been conditioned since the 17th century to be like, you cannot go out. You cannot do anything without underwear.
Well, I will say I am glad it's a thing, you know?
Here's a follow-up to yeah, I'm glad too, because I like them. I like wearing underwear. I call them underpants a lot.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of flack for calling them underpants.
Why?
Because Kyle is like they're underwear, not underpants. And I'm
But
like,
is
but
it
they are under my pants.
so here's the thing though, if you really wanna break it down, underpants makes more sense because 'cause you're like, "Underwear?"
Under my pants.
Exactly. That is underwear? Under my
Underpants.
pants. Yep. See, I say both, but I get underpants is much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more accurate.
Specific.
It's an
Yeah.
accurate
Yeah.
description of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact we talked about is that men started to wear underwear back in the 17th century. In your opinion, what's something men should start wearing now?
Wow. I think men should deodorant. I think they should wear necklaces that have uh a nice name on it, like the name of their beloved. I think yeah, I think those things. I
Mine?
think trying to think anything else that
So
like that they don't wear already typically or
Here's mine. Here. I'm gonna
Okay,
give
you
some
got it.
inspo.
You tell me.
Socks. Men need to wear
Oh.
socks because I feel like more often than not, men do not wear socks with shoes and tennis shoes. Or if they do wear socks, they're wearing socks with sandals. Maybe they just need an education on socks and why socks are important. Because maybe it's just a pet peeve of mine, but my husband wears his tennis shoes all the time without socks. And I'm like, that is disgusting. That is
And
disgusting.
why do we wear socks?
So you don't get athlete's foot because your foot sweats and the bacteria on your foot goes to the sock and then you wash the sock. Without the sock,
There's
where's
such
that?
a case for sock wearing. More of
Yes.
a case for sock wearing than underwear wearing.
Hmm.
And
you
yet, more people are rebelling against socks than underwear these days.
A sock is the underwear of the foot?
It is. It's underfoot. Undershoe.
Underwear?
Undershoe.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love a review, subscribe, or for you to share this with a friend you think would like it.
Or all three of those things. You can do all three and make our day and help us grow.